Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Estancia Lapacho, our Farming Simulator 17 Platinum Edition farm. And I've had a little bit of a tidy up and an organised since you were last with us, so this little hut here is now where we're storing our two trailers. I've put the header for our, or the harvester for our sugarcane back there in the corner. In this little building over here, this is now where our forklift is going to live. Nice little bay for it just there. And then everything in here has been tidied up as well. So as we come in through here, there is our fertilising unit, our sprayer, just there. We've got a lot of open space around here for more equipment, but over here we have our two seeders / our cultivators as well. Obviously you saw me stacking our pallets here last time. Tractors are all lined up, ready for use. I have actually got rid of the front loader attachment for this. We have no need for the shovel right now, and our forklift is more than adept at doing the palletty stuff, so just got rid of those just to save a little bit of space and an extra couple of quid as well. Our Euroboss is in here, and we have our combine in this bay here, so that, you know, because it's an old piece of machinery, it's going to need some maintenance, so we have our tool racks here so that we can constantly work on this and keep it tip-top. There we go. So that's basically how our yard is looking, and then obviously over here you've seen our sugarcane storage area. Now our crops have grown a little bit, so we are now up to stage 2 growth here on our wheat farm, our wheat field. This is our soybean. This is now at stage 1 growth, and our sugarcane has started growing as well. So we just jump over there. Here you can see we have some stage 1 growth on our sugarcane. So we need to do some fertilising. So let's jump back over to the farm. Now I wonder, can we change the wheels on the Massey? I honestly can't remember whether or not we can fit this with narrows. Let's have a look. I don't think we can. Oh no, yeah, we can. No, we can't. Standard or whites. So we're not going to be using this one. So let's put that back. Because we're now at the point where crop destruction is going to be a factor. So I guess that means we're going to be using our smaller of the two starers. Because this one, I believe, can have narrows fitted. Yes, there we go. So let's put narrow wheels on our little starer here. Completely changes the profile of this tractor when you put narrows on. I actually quite like it like that. I think it looks quite cool. So now we need our sprayer unit, which is there. And this is going to need topping up because it's almost empty. So we have our pallets over here. So first problem in having the tractors there is not enough space. So I guess our tractors should probably live over here instead, where there's a little bit more space. So I'll move that one to there. And now I can actually back in, you see, and get to our pallets like that. Alright. So let's go spray our sugarcane first, I think. Now I'm still not 100% certain as to whether we actually need to spray sugarcane. It's always been one of those things, do you need to fertilise poplar? And there's never been a clearly definitive answer on that. Some people think you do, some people don't think you don't need to. At the moment, I'm guessing, you know, that kind of lack of consensus is going to be here with sugarcane as well, because it's such a brand new crop and not many people have really fully explored it yet. So Until we know whether it's not necessary, I'm going to spray, just because I think it's better just to make sure, if there is a chance of getting a higher yield, that we get it. Especially seeing as this is going to be our main source of income for our farm, is going to be sugarcane, so it makes sense to absolutely maximise just how much money we can get off it. And when you think about it, you must be able to fertilise sugarcane, thinking about it, because the seeders, the billet planters, actually have fertiliser tanks on them. So that kind of there immediately to me screams, yes, you need to fertilise your sugarcane to get the best out of it. So otherwise, why would those billet planters have a fertiliser tank? This is one of those crops that does get really, really tall. I mean, ridiculously tall. Way taller than any other stuff that we would normally have on a field. To the point where, when it's fully grown, you can drive a tractor through it, and the tractor will not be visible at all. So, kind of want to get all of my sort of fertilising done before it gets to that height. I think the next growth stage is going to be kind of up to nearly the roof of the tractor. Not far off. It's certainly going to be above the wheel arches. But this is the second stage of fertilisation, so there is one more that we'll need to do after this. And unfortunately, we do still have that issue of the crops showing through the floor of the vehicle. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. There's not really a lot we can do about that. I must say, it's going to be interesting to see what it's like driving through a fully grown field of sugarcane in cab, just to see just how tall it really is and what it looks like from an in-cab perspective, just getting smacked in the face by huge, great big sugarcane plants. But it's a shame that we can't fit narrow wheels to our little Massey. I was hoping to use that to do some fertilising. Never mind, this little Staro will serve us well, our little ST105. So once this is done, we need to fertilise our other two. Well, actually, we don't need to fertilise our soybean because they're fully fertilised now. So we just need one more stage of fertiliser on the wheat, and then one more stage of fertiliser after this on our sugarcane, and all of our fields will then be just ready to go. They'll just need to finish growing. So what we'll probably do then is, as soon as I finish this and spray the other field, we'll speed time up and get those last set of fertiliser applications on as well. And then, if we've got time, we may even start the harvest. We'll see how much time we have left in the episode. But I would like to start making some money on this farm because we've spent quite a bit. Obviously we maxed out. Well, not maxed out, but we've withdrawn a huge portion of our loan, so we have very little cash available to play about with now. We've got a nice good framework of equipment in place just to get us started. It would be nice to be able to start upgrading to some of the larger stuff. And I would like to be able to get in a transport truck for our sugarcane for when we come to sell, but for now we're going to be storing and reusing whatever we make to plant our fields again. So this will probably give us some that we can use, some that we can sell, but I think quite a big chunk of this particular crop is going to be replanted on our other two fields. I say it depends how long it's going to take to grow. I mean, we've still got another 2 stages of growth, I think, on this before it's then ready to harvest, and harvesting is going to take an awful long time because it took us 2 episodes to harvest this. Sorry, to plant this. It's going to take us just as long to harvest it, I would imagine, because we used a single row planter and we're using a single row harvester, and that's not going to operate particularly fast. So yeah, just harvesting that one field is going to take us quite a long time. How are we doing on stuff in the tank? We've got enough, I think, to actually finish off. We don't need to top up again. So let's make our way over to our wheat field. I have to say, I do like these kind of tyre tracks that are just part of the dirt road there. I really do like that. The more heavily worn track around the farm just has that kind of groove in it from where our tyres have just constantly been treading the same route. It's a nice little touch. And once again, I'm kind of wondering whether or not we should sort of collect the straw off this field. I mean, we're going to make straw. That's kind of compulsory in some respects. There is no way to turn that off yet on the Bison combine, so we are going to end up with a load of straw swath all over this field. So it kind of makes sense that we actually do something with it, and I don't know whether or not to do what we did last time and use the forage wagon, the loading wagon that we've got, or whether to go and replace that with a baler. I mean, we have a little bit of extra cash, as you can see. We have 22 grand. So, we do have some money to play about with, and we can probably get nearly 30,000 back for our loading wagon. Probably get a little bit less than that, maybe sort of 27, 28,000, I would imagine, because it has had a couple of hours of use, I think, or an hour of use. It'll be devalued slightly, but we can get probably around 28 grand back for that, plus the 22 that we've got now. That would give us about 50,000, and we may possibly even have a little bit of loan money as well. I'm wondering whether or not we should just go ahead and buy a baler, because we will make more money. I mean, potentially straw as loose could sell better, but because the prices aren't listed, we'll never know when the right time is to sell the straw as loose straw. We will never know when the price is at its absolute best. So I think baling, where we know exactly how much we're going to get per bale, might be a better option. It'll certainly be a more consistent price. So I may look into that as well. We'll get this field done, and then while we're speeding time up, what we'll do is pause the recording. So we'll be coming back in morning time, because it's as you can see, it's starting to get quite hot, quite late on in the day. It's 6:45, so we'll come back in the morning with our fields another stage of growth along. We'll do our final applications of fertiliser. I think it might just be the sugarcane. I think this is at stage 2 already, so this might be our 3rd stage on this field. We'll have to double check that. And if all that is left is just the sugarcane, then we can definitely get straight on with some harvesting. Remember, we're going to put one more round of crops on both of these 2 fields. Another round of soybean, I think, so that we'll actually have a decent volume of soybean to sell. And then once they're done, we'll be able to get our sugarcane fields up here up and running properly. you get some lovely views with this new map. I love the new sunset. It's quite subtle. It's certainly very subtle when you compare it to the kind of traditional colours that we've normally been getting, those deep purples and oranges, and that's way more subtle, but it's lovely. I really like it. Overall, so far, I'm pretty happy with the DLC. I mean, I know a lot of people have been kind of grumbling about it. Mainly, more than anything else, I think the PC players have been grumbling more than the console players about the DLC, simply because, you know, it's not what they were hoping for. But let's face it, I mean, the PC guys, I don't think are ever going to be truly happy with DLC packs that they have to pay for, because they have so much stuff that they can get for free with mods. They have this huge, obscene number of maps that they can play on, ranging from standard size maps to all the way up to 16 times maps. They have all these intricate mods like courseplay and seasons and stuff that completely changes the way the game works. And they kind of get spoiled by that, you know. They get spoiled, you know. It's like if a kid has everything, or, you know, a kid gets everything he wants when he's a kid growing up, you know, I want this present, I want that present, and they just get it. You know, they don't learn necessarily the true value of things. Bear with me with this analogy. Because I'm not saying all PC players are spoiled children, but if you just have whatever you want whenever you want, then what do you do to kind of top that experience? You know, if you can just, you know, get these huge, amazing maps, then how is a base game map that is designed to cater to all players, you know, all systems, and, you know, is designed to work with whatever equipment they're trying to you know, add into the game, how is that something that's very sort of specific supposed to please that person? They're never going to be happy. Plus you know, I think that the fact that the sugarcane equipment is going to take a long time to plant stuff, it's going to take a long time to grow stuff, it's going to take a long time to harvest stuff. A lot of PC players do like to use mods that, you know, kind of speed things up a bit. So you get people who are using combine harvesters with 1 million litre grain tanks that can harvest at 40 miles an hour. And again, I'm not saying that every PC player is like this, I'm just, you know, but, you know, you see so many people posting all these mods in groups and going on about the mods that they're using, and they're all stuff that is way bigger than what is available in the base game, and they're all designed to just, you know, run on big maps effectively, or just, you know, take a lot of the grind out of the experience so they can just get stuff done quicker. And when you you compare that to something like this, which is going to be very grindy because it's very time consuming, with, you know, a long harvest cycle and a very long planting cycle with just 1 or 2 row planting, and a very long harvesting cycle with 1 or 2 row harvesting. You know, it's never going to please everybody. But for me, I think, you know, this is a good DLC. You know, console players have a limited selection of mods. You know, we have a limited selection of mod maps. We certainly don't have the wealth of equipment that is available to PC users. And this brings in new stuff, and I'm a little disappointed with the fact that we only got 2 small tractors. I would have preferred something a little bit bigger as well, as I said last time out. But generally, I mean, I like what's been added in. And yes, it is mostly kind of specific to sugarcane. There isn't much stuff that is kind of universal. But there's enough stuff in here that's universal, that can be used on any farm. You know, you don't have to only use this content with this map. You can use it with other stuff. And as the mod maps that we've got start getting updated by the mod authors to allow sugarcane, then that allows you to take that, this content and expand it through your existing farms as well. You don't have to just play on this map. at the moment, the only maps that do accept this DLC are the ones that came from Giants. So this one, Goldcrest and Sosnovka, but you know, Huda Ranch and Hagenstedt are already in testing with updates for sugarcane. Black Sheep Modding's upcoming map, the Valley, the Old Farm, has already been recoded to have sugarcane in it, so when that goes live it should have sugarcane functionality from day one. I'm sure other mod maps will start to add that in as well. I can't say all of them will, because at the end of the day it comes down to the modder themselves as to whether or not they want to do that. But as more and more of those maps start to get that sort of functionality added into them, you know, the DLC becomes more and more usable for everybody. So I don't see it as a bad thing. I really like this map so far. I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy it long term, but you know, from having played it for a few hours now on this farm, I am enjoying it. I like the locale, I like the new colours. Some people aren't a big fan of the grass. I like the grass. Yeah, everyone has their own sort of different opinions and feelings about this map. Me personally, I'm actually quite enjoying it. I like the setting, and I love the new lighting as well. The new lighting engine is brilliant. And I'm kind of impressed with most of the equipment. Like I said, I just wish that we'd had a slightly more powerful tractor added into the mix as well. But everything else I'm kind of pretty pleased with. So we're topped up. Let's finish this field off. We are going to have to buy some more supplies soon. Going to need to buy some more liquid fertiliser, some more seeds, and some more solid fertiliser. Seed more than anything, I think. But we shouldn't have to buy any sugarcane from now on. You know, we'll have plenty that we'll be able to use off our initial harvest. As we spin around, get lined up, and there we go. Very little left to do now, just another little pass and a bit, I think. I think it's a little bit wider than just one pass. Yeah, that's unfortunate. We're going to have that kind of strip left over. Means we are going to end up wasting, you know, a fair chunk of fertiliser on the final pass, but I do want to kind of maximise the crop, get as much money out of it as we can, so we'll just have to kind of pay that toll, I suppose. Get some nice sort of outside shots of our sprayer, or you know, looking out the window kind of shots, I think is probably the best way to describe it. Now we don't own that field, so because of that we've got to reposition so we don't overlap with an area that is not for sale. So we'll kind of have to hold this line here, running right along the edge. We go too much wider outside the field and we'll get too close to that one, which means all of a sudden we'll stop effectively applying fertiliser. Trying to figure out what that building is in the background over there without looking at the map. I can't remember. I'm going to have to look to see what it is. Looks like it might be the BGA. Yeah, I think that's the BGA that's all the way over there in the distance. Right, do we need to add one more stage to field 1? No, we don't. And as you can see, field 14 is now at stage 2. So, all we need to do now is speed time up, come back in the morning, and apply a final stage of fertiliser to our sugarcane, and then we can just whiz forward until everything is grown. So, what I'm going to do is kind of pause the recording, and I will join you back here in the morning. Alright, we are back. It is morning. The crop has grown another stage, as you can see. But just to kind of put it into perspective for you as to how long it's taken to grow that stage, our wheat is fully ready to harvest. Our wheat has grown 2 stages, as has our soybean in the time that it took our sugarcane to grow 1 stage. So this is the state of our soybean crop right now, and this is the state of our wheat crop. You know, complete, 2-stage growth instead of just 1-stage growth that it took for our sugarcane. So let's get this harvested, and this is going to be even harder to actually tell where I am. So I'm just going to get a worker to do this for me, so I can actually make sure that we're spraying everything. And look how thick and dense it's starting to look. You can kind of see through it from above, but you get any kind of angle and there's just complete cover. You can't see anything at all. That's our height now. So as you can see, above the wheel arches, and sort of brushing through the knees there. Like I said, when it gets to its final growth stage and it's ready to harvest, it's going to be as tall as the cab, I reckon. It's going to be very, very tall indeed. And it may even be taller than the cab. Given how big our harvester is, that'll give you a kind of indication. So while that's doing that, if I just jump over here to give you a kind of indication as to how high this is. I might need to connect up to it. If you haven't seen fully grown sugarcane just yet, let's try and give you some kind of idea of the scale of it. So let's get connected up to this. So let's get it unfolded. It pulls off to the side, as you can see. So this is the topper. So this will cut off the top part of the crop, and then the rest will then get pulled through the harvester and chewed through, and then spat out the pipe at the back, and then the top little bit will just fall to the ground. Look at the height of the cutter compared to the height of our tractor, and then imagine that there's going to be an extra that much of the sugar cane as well. That gives you an idea of just how tall it's going to get. Let's fold this back up again. Put this back away. It's going to get very, very tall indeed. And I think just here is going to be a good little place for our tractor there. So I said we were going to look at maybe getting a baler. Let's take a look at prices. Balers have moved, haven't they? I keep forgetting this. I did say it was going to catch you out. It's me going along the top looking for balers, and of course they're not there anymore. We have a selection available to us. Obviously there's the New Holland ones, we're not going to use those. There's the Kuhn ones, probably not going to use those either. We're looking probably at something like one of these single axle balers, or maybe even the really old Massey baler. I mean, that's cheap, that's definitely affordable, 24 grand. I don't really want to use a round baler, even though I think that would actually probably work and look very good with our little Massey tractor. Certainly not going to be using a Corona one. So I think it's whether I go single axle or whether I go one of these single axle big balers, or whether I go with the old square baler. And you know what? I'm kind of thinking we go with the old one, just simply because it's cheaper. So he's pootling away there. We're going to need to get rid of our loading wagon. We're also going to need a bale wagon. Oh, hang on a second. No, if I do that, I've just got rid of all the front loader attachment and everything. Now I'm going to need something with spikes. Now our forklift has, you know, obviously pallet forks and it can have a bucket, but it can't fit spikes. So I've just kind of just shot myself in the foot with that. So if that's the case, we'll keep the loading wagon and we'll just transport loose straw that way. I should have thought that one through, really. Never mind. What else? Alright, let's see what kind of price we've got looking like for soybean, because that's going to be getting close to growth. We actually have a decent price at the bakery. If that holds long enough, that'll be quite nice. We don't have a good price. We don't have a brilliant price for wheat, but I mean, we do have 824, which isn't too bad at the transport company. So we could potentially shove some wheat through there, and if that price is going up, I don't think it is. I think that's kind of just frozen at that price now. We don't have a little indicator arrow next to it, but that would have been quite nice. Looking at the prices for the sugar mill, Harbour is currently the best price, so we will end up with a little bit of sugar cane to sell. But obviously making sure everything is planted is the first thing we need to do. So I think what we're going to need to do is we're going to need a low loader trailer, something that we can load stuff on but also take our forklift down there with us. So I think we might need to use the Chieftain for this one here. It's not a bad length, and we can get our forklift on there as well. I mean, we could go with one of these. These would actually be a bit longer and probably give us more room to work with, but this would be more flexible in terms of some of the equipment that we could carry back. Choices. Do we go with one of these? That one's going to cost us 11 grand. I think the 8 metre is probably going to be long enough, although maybe we could go with a 10 metre. Or do we go with this? How long is this? See, it doesn't actually say, but my guess is not as long. But the thing I like about this is that we can actually set it up to match the colour of our other equipment. If we add the side extensions, I think that gets rid of the pallets, the pallet hooks, the straps. Yeah, let's get one of these. We don't have enough for that, so let's borrow an extra 20 grand, so we've got enough money for the pallets as well. Let's get ourselves our Chieftain low loader. We want wide tyres, just because it gives us a little bit more stability. Standard width, yes, let's buy that. And now we are going to... Oh, we are done. We are done spraying. So everything is now fully fertilised, I believe. Yes, everything's fully fertilised. We're now just at a wait and see stage. So we can get some harvesting done. I think we'll probably do that in the next episode. We'll get all the stock and supplies in for like seed and fertiliser tanks in this episode. And then next episode we'll get our grain harvest out the way and, get closer and closer to actually working on our sugar cane. So let's get this sort of parked up. there either. Let's zoom in a bit. There we go. I can see what I'm doing. Excellent. Which is going to be the best tractor to take down with us? This one. So it's kind of counterintuitive in some respects that we've got to drive down, pick up the trailer, bring it back, and then go straight back to the store again. But it's going to be quicker to... Actually, no. I mean, I suppose it would be quicker to just drive the pallet forks, the forklift down on its own. It's fast enough. You know, it's what, 18 miles an hour. It's not that slow. So yeah, we'll do that then. We'll drive the forklift down on its own. I'm going to spare you the drive. I'll join you at the store once we've got the forklift over there as well. Okay, so here we are at the store, and I made a mistake. I bought the wrong Chieftain trailer. So the one I bought was this one here, the Chieftain low loader in the low loader section. And this one is not compatible with straps. Even without the wide attachments, it didn't have the side straps. So I had to sell that one and go into baling technology and buy the bale trailer version of the Chieftain low loader, because this one does have straps, so I can strap my pallets down. So yeah, bit of a mistake there. That's cost me an extra couple of $1,000, but we live and learn, I suppose. So let's connect up. Let's turn the engine off, lower down the ramp, and we need some supplies. So we're going to need some liquid fertiliser. I want 4 of those, because that's our main source of fertilisation at the moment. Plus they hold 2,000 litres, which is always good. And we need some seed as well, but I'm going to use seed bags. Never used these before, and they're slightly more expensive, but I don't mind paying a little bit more, simply because, you know, we're not paying for sugarcane. So I'm just going to try a couple of seed bags. I don't know how well these are going to work, or how easily they're going to be to attach. I might need something else for that. Well, let's get these big pallets loaded. So normally with the smaller pallets I can get 2 of those on quite comfortably. With these ones, I don't know. Could be a little bit trickier. Let's get a bit more width on the forks just to give us a little bit more stability. Still trying to maneuver these forks as though they were on a front loader. Yeah, I think we're looking at just single one on these. Let's see, can I maybe push this back a little bit and then get the other one on the edge? Trying to push it at an angle. That's not helping. Let's see if I can just give it a little nudge like that to straighten it up. Should hopefully slide back now. Well, it will, but it's not happy about it. Let's try a bit lower down. Yeah, there we go. Go a little bit narrower as the angle is wrong. Maybe these forks are a little bit too thick for these side. Maybe I should use the larger ones on the opposite side. I think that would probably be a smarter idea for the next ones. Yeah, these controls still feel weird. Alright, that's not bad. Let's give him a quick nudge at the other end. Need to make sure I can actually drive up the ramp here. Yeah, otherwise that could have been awkward. Oh, I'm sliding down the ramp. Did not expect that. Let's try again. Oh, you got to give it a little bit of welly. I'm nervous about repositioning this thing on here now. There we go. That's kind of rough, but you should be able to do it. After this, we'll get the 4 pallets of seed loaded. Like I say, I've never used these big bags, just simply because, you know, mathematically, they don't make that much sense. They are more expensive than the pallets, and per cost, you know, per dollar, they hold less grain as well. So they are kind of a why would you buy them when the pallets are cheaper? You know, if you're going to go with sort of, you know, a pallet-based planting rather than using, you know, the mod placeable tanks, why would you go with something that's going to cost you more money? But I just wanted to try them out a little bit. So this is probably the only time we'll use them. We'll probably go back to pallets simply because the pallets are smaller. We can stack them. I mean, look how big these big bags are compared to the size of a normal pallet. You know, and yet they hold less. Just it does seem a little counterintuitive. I wish the big bags actually held more than the pallets. Then I wouldn't mind paying a little bit more, you know, if they were larger. But, you know, as it is, you know, they only hold 800 litres as opposed to 1,000 litres. You know, they cost 1,200 as opposed to 900. It just doesn't make any sense financially to buy them. This is just me, you know, getting them more out of curiosity this one time than anything else. Alright, that's pretty good. Strap these ones down as well. Let's start working on those big bags. Now, can I actually pick these up with the forks? I would imagine the answer would be yes. I would hope the answer would be yes. Maybe I need longer forks. Let's see. Oh no, there we go. These things are pretty big, aren't they? Look at the size of them. Might not have enough space left on here for the forklift at this rate. That would be problematic. do love this thing's turning circle. This is by far the best turning circle of any vehicle in the game. It's just fantastic. I can't believe just how big these bags are. I didn't think they would actually physically be this big. Alright, get the last two on. And then we'll be sort of heading back to the farm. I wonder. Can I get them both? Oh, it's going to be tough, but I think I might possibly be able to get both of them. Probably going to need to reposition the way I grab this one first. And then we could just drive this straight onto the back of the trailer. There we go. Beautiful. Oop. Oh no! God damn it. Getting a little too carried away there. And now I don't have the power to get back up there again. Oh, this is not going well. This is just... this has just been a disaster. I tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these back like this. It's not... I can't even strap these down either, can I? Oh, that's not good. Alright, so I'm going to end the episode here with a screw-up. We'll get these back like this, and then I'll drive the forklift back with the pallets, the last two bags attached. We're going to use these bags up as quickly as we can. And then from there, we were never buying bags again. We're just going to stick to the pallets because they are so much easier to use. So, thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I will catch you back with some more Platinum Edition Farming Simulator 17 very soon.